They're weirdly round, deep fried so they're crispy on the outside.
And they're delicious on the inside.
They're also wicked awesome when dipped in sweet and sour sauce. What are they, Mum?
The Char Siu sweet and sour chicken, Char Siu sweet and sour pork ball.
There, we got there at the end. Char Siu sweet and sour pork balls. That's what we're doing today. We don't need to say pork though, do we? It's Char Siu sweet and sour balls. Welcome to Ziangs Food Workshop. I'm Chin, and this is my mum, Chin.
Yes, we are here today. Choo is here.
So yes, we're going to be doing sweet and sour Char Siu balls. You can actually replace this with chicken if you want. That's absolutely fine. There's no issue with that whatsoever, is there?
No, not at all.
But we will get on with this recipe for you. So first off, we're going to have to make the Char Siu. Most takeaways are going to be braising it first, and we had a lot of hate before when a lot of people go, my takeaway isn't doing like that. But now the Chinese chefs online are actually showing you to braise it first. You can oven it if you want, but braising it is the best way because you're essentially cooking it slowly, which means you're going to keep that meat nice and tender. If you oven it, it's going to go dry after a certain amount of time. What you can do, which would be better if you're going to just have this as it was, braise it, take it out, glaze it, and then oven it, and then you get a perfect, nice, tasty Char Siu. We're going to be making chunks. Normally, they would make a large block, wouldn't they?
Yes, large pieces of it.
Yeah, and then cut it into blocks and then batter it. But we're going to make sure that all the flavour is around every single cube of the Char Siu ball. First off, we've got a packet of shoulder steaks here in front of us. Normally a takeaway is using a collar cut, neck collar. What was that called in Chinese, ma?
猪頸肉.
That. So just play that to a butcher and they're going to have no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, we're going to cut these up into about 4 centimetre cubes. You want to cut them bigger because they will shrink in the water or when we're braising them.
Yes, it will shrink. So make sure you cut them into a substantial size.
Yeah, exactly. We've cut these up now. We're going to put them into the wok. And now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of hoisin sauce. 1
tablespoon of yellow bean sauce.
Right here, that's a cube of red bean. And we're going to take a quarter of that cube and put it into the mix. Now, the hoisin and the yellow bean and the red bean can all be put into jars, decanted off, and then put into your fridge, and they will keep nearly indefinitely. You've just got to use a bit of common sense, like you would store jam in the fridge. If it looks off, it's off.
Yeah, there's no rules. You just judge by your eye.
Then you're going to add 6 star anise, a couple of cassis bark shards. Now, this is like cinnamon, except it has a more citrus flavour, but they're very, very similar tasting. So if you don't have cassis or cassia, I can never say it properly, then you can, in fact, use a small part of a cinnamon stick.
1 teaspoon of clove.
2 teaspoons of good quality 5 spice. Stuff from the supermarkets isn't what the Chinese takeaways are using. We do sell these products on our store, so if you want to head over there and check that out, it's the only place where our cookbook is sold as well. So for more Chinese takeaway recipes, think about purchasing that. But good quality 5 spice is important. Okay, so after that, we're going to put 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 heaped tablespoon of aged garlic. Now to make this, all you do is you put some peeled garlic into a blender, about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, fill it up with vegetable oil so the garlic is nearly covered, and blitz it till it's fine. Let it sit for 24 hours and you're ready to use that.
You got it.
Yeah, it matures with age as well, so it gets stronger. It's good for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, yes, you could stretch a bit if you,
yeah, again, use common sense. Then we're going to add
just 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of MSG and 6 tablespoons of sugar.
You're then going to add 1 tablespoon of Chinese rice wine, not rice wine vinegar. They're 2 different things completely. It's like comparing it to wine and balsamic vinegar. They're very different things. Like, I don't know why people think it's interchangeable. They're not. Don't interchange them. Then we're going to put a whole bowl of crushed garlic. We're just going to crush that garlic with the back of a knife and whack it into the pan.
And about half an onion.
Yeah, and what are you going to do to that?
Slice it up.
Yes. And then what?
Lastly,
No. And then we're going to put it. Then we're going to put the onions in.
Oh yeah.
You can't just slice them up and leave them on the side. And then lastly,
water.
Yeah, we're going to put in some water, and we're just going to cover the pork. Oh, and then after that, we're going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of red food colouring. Now you need the powder because it's much stronger than anything you can get in a Western supermarket. Again, check out our web store, chinandchoo.com. So we're now going to put this onto a high. I'm going to let that boil, aren't we?
Bring it to boil.
Yeah, exactly. And then when it is boiling, we're going to turn it down to a medium heat and let it simmer for roughly...
About 35 minutes to...
Yeah, 35 to 40.
Yeah.
I have a feeling because we cut these a little bit too chunky, they're going to need about 40 minutes. But between 35 to 40 minutes is a good amount of time. Any longer than that and they'll just start to fall apart really. They won't hold their shape. So we're going to do that right now. And when we come back, we'll show you the next step. Right, so it has been about 40 minutes we let this simmer for. What you're now going to do is you're going to take your pork and you're going to pour that into the colander. I'm going to sieve all of those bits out as well as the pork. Then we're going to just simply take the bits of pork out, making sure there's no bits of debris on there like parts of a clove or onions. I'm going to put them, and then we're going to put them into a baking tray. So now the tray's full, we're just going to set these aside and let them cool down to their room temperature. This just makes it easier to work with.
Yeah, that's right.
That sauce left over is what barbecue sauce is. It's the leftover from making ribs or char siu. And all you have to do to make that into barbecue sauce is ladle some out into a wok and then add some sugar. In this case, we're adding 2 tablespoons of sugar to 3 ladles of the barbecue sauce. Bring it to the boil and then just thicken it with potato starch slurry. I had to say that twice, I couldn't get the slurry out. And there you have it.
Yeah.
Barbecue sauce. Yeah.
That's right, you have your barbecue sauce.
What do you look? Barbecue. But we won't be serving it with barbecue sauce. We will be showing you how to do a quick sweet and sour as well. So first we need to make our batter. The outside batter, that is, yeah?
Yes, that's right, the batter for frying to...
Coat it.
Yes, to make the...
The balls.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to be using green dragon flour. This has been specifically designed for this purpose. It is. So we have a video where we blind test the next best one, and we can tell pretty much instantly, and even my dad, who wasn't a foodie, could tell. Like Dad's favourite phrase is, food is just fuel. Doesn't really care about flavour, but that's just the way it is. You can use any self-raising flour you want. We do recommend this, and yes, we do sell it on the web store, but use whatever self-raising flour you have in your cupboard. You will notice a marked difference though. Mum's about to pour 400 grams of the
self-raising flour.
Thank you. Into a bowl, and then we're going to add water slowly to this to make it into a paste.
Lukewarm water.
Yes, the water has to be lukewarm, so not hot. When you put your hand in it, it just feels like a bath that you've left for about an hour. It's the best way.
I don't know how hot you've gone in the bath.
That's true. Just warm.
Yeah.
Like a cup of tea that's been left on the side,
Yeah,
and you go back to, and it's just warm enough to drink. That kind of warm. So we're going to add the water to that slowly, and Mum's going to use her hands to massage the water in, and as you can see, we add it bit by bit until it becomes thick, until it becomes a paste. You want it so it's almost like wallpaper paste. If you want them to be really crispy on the outside, you make your batter thinner, and if you like me and like them stodgy, then you make your batter thicker, so you use less. So in total, we've put 900 millilitres of water into this mix to get the consistency we're using today. And then we're just going to set that aside. Now we are going to coat or do a base coat for the pork. What we're going to do here is just grab a tray. Into this tray, Mum's going to put
3 tablespoons of plain flour,
1/4 teaspoon of salt,
1/4 spoon of MSG,
and 1/4 teaspoon of what, Ma?
pepper.
Yeah, and then what pepper?
We use white pepper
This time, yeah. And then we're just going to mix this up. Making sure that every piece of that pork is coated in the batter. It just helps it stick better. And then when it's all mixed, it's ready to essentially use, and we'll get on with that now. So now this is ready, we're just going to set that to the side, bring back our batter, and we've got some vegetable oil here to make sure that we deep fry them. Well, we're going to have to make sure we deep fry them. That was a silly thing to say. To deep fry them in.
Yes.
We're going to take the pork balls, place them into the batter, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a toothpick and we're going to dab them into the pork. Then we're going to take it over to the oil and place it in gently. And the way you take this off is you spin the cocktail stick and it will just fall off into the oil without having to splash everywhere. Takeaways aren't going to be doing it like this. They're going to be using their hands, but we thought we'd show you this way because it's easier at home, and learning to make them round by dropping them in a certain way using your hands takes lots and lots of practice. So we thought we'd show you this quick and easy method, didn't we?
Yes.
So as they go in, the first ones will start to brown first. We need to take them out as they're done. Make sure they're over 80 degrees C or 356 degrees Fahrenheit inside before you take them out. You want them crispy on the outside, nice and golden brown, and then we're just going to let them drain, and then we're going to make a sweet and sour sauce. It's important though that you keep moving around the sweet and sour balls so that they brown evenly, because they'll tend to want to be heavier on one side, and they'll turn, and then therefore they'll be brown on the underside, and they won't brown on the top because there's not much oil covering it. So you're just going to have to use like a ladle, or in our case a spider sieve. We have a link to one of those in the links below, and just keep tapping them down under the oil so they completely brown all over. Any technique there for you, May, you like to do?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just swirl them around.
Swirl them around.
Swirl around, so make sure most of them are evenly cooked. And some don't want to float. As soon as you put it on the other side, it pop up again. Yeah, that's nothing you can do though.
No, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we've placed them onto some kitchen roll, it's time to make some sweet and sour sauce. Right, so now the chicken balls, bloody chicken balls, the char siu balls are ready. We're going to make the sweet and sour sauce. So all you're going to need for this is a wok or a pan, and you're going to need 350 millilitres of
water.
You're going to need 5 tablespoons of
Tomato ketchup.
Yep. You're also going to need about 70 millilitres of
Orange squash.
5 tablespoons of
sugar.
Yeah, it's vinegar.
Oh yeah, vinegar.
Yeah, vinegar. And we're going to need about 70 millilitres of that. And then red food colouring to make it bright red. And we're just going to, what, Mum?
Bring it to boil.
Yeah, we're also going to stir it to make sure that sugar dissolves. And then we're going to bring it to a boil. And then what, Ma?
Thicken it.
Yes, we're going to thicken it. And you can have this as thin or as thick as you want. First time you try it, do it exactly as we say. Second time you try it, edit it towards your taste. So if you want it a bit more sour, add more vinegar. If you don't want it as sweet, add less sugar. Or if it's not sweet enough, add more sugar, and vice versa. Yeah, and then when it's all thick to your liking, pour it out into a bowl and it's ready to use.
Yeah.
Right, so there it is. And now we're going to try the balls. Ready, Ma?
Yes. Look forward to that.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. I had the one cut one because I like the sauce inside.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Mm. You can take the orange squash and the sauce and char siu pork as well, and the crispiness of that butter.
I'm going to be honest, the sweet and sour sauce is probably the way most takeaways are making it nowadays. Gone are the days of the generations of chefs that do it like we still do. Most of the time they're just doing this quick version. Doesn't taste bad, don't get me wrong. Just doesn't have as much depth of flavour as the versions we've shown in the past. I mean, yeah, I'll go to a takeaway and I have that. I wouldn't complain. I'd be like, that's quite nice. It's just not. It's a little bit like having a McDonald's and a Five Guys. The Five Guys is better because they've just used better quality stuff, and the McDonald's is, McDonald's.
That is really good.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy.
Do you want to try it in the barbecue sauce?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I will too. Nice and thick. Mm.
It's beautiful.
Mm.
See which one you like, the sweet and sour sauce or the barbecue sauce from the extract of the making the char siu pork.
I prefer it with the sweet and sour, but if this was the other version of pork balls, I'd prefer it with curry sauce. Mm.
I like them both.
Barbecue sauce is good though, but I like barbecue sauce with everything.
I like the chips as well.
Mm.
This one reminds me of the char siu bao.
So if you want to get the written version of this, along with the video, You can sign up to our recipe vault. Members there get extra perks and stuff. It's like Patreon, but they get extra perks. We do have Patreon, so if you can sign up to that, by all means, please do. If you can, no worries. Just supporting by liking really helps, and commenting all really helps loads. But yeah, those are a couple of options to help support us if you want to. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Just continue watching, and we'll still keep making the stuff. But I'm really enjoying these. Mum's desperate to get off because she's got friends coming round. By making it chunks that are fully cooked in the Char Siu braising stock, it makes the pork balls way better than if you did just cook it as one chunk, which all takeaways do, and then just cut it up and then you use the Char Siu that way. This way it's got flavour all over the inside rather than just on one part.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Happy cooking, happy eating.
Till the next time, take care.